Hey, it's Lori Painter and welcome to lifebylori.com. This is my very first video for my very first challenge of my 1-year transformation. I did make a video last week sharing with you why I'm doing it and a little bit more about me. So if you haven't checked that out, feel free to go and check that video out. But my first challenge that I am embarking on is a cleanse. And the reason that I'm starting with a 30-day cleanse, and I'll share with you more of the details in a moment, but the reasons why I'm doing this is to create space and to create a clean slate for a fresh new start so that I'm able to build upon a solid foundation. So I'm eliminating anything that's a distraction or that isn't serving me, or also pretty much on that level. And then we'll evaluate, or I will evaluate where I'm at afterwards and move on to the next challenge. I would love to inspire you to join me on this challenge in the sense that if there are things that you have not cleaned up in your life, please join me for the next 30 days and look around and see what there could be that you could possibly clean up. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that I'm doing, and that may inspire you. And who knows? Let's see what we can do together. So the first things I'll be cleansing is my body. And that's pretty simple. I'm going to do a 30-day cleanse, and it's actually my own cleanse. If you've watched the last video, you know I'm a holistic health practitioner. So this is pretty basic. It's not something that I'm new to. It's just something that I like to do on an annual basis because it's an absolute reset for the body. Just like we take our car in for annual or regular service, maintenance, and then go and getting our car detailed, our body isn't much different. And when was the last time a lot of people have done that? We just tend not to. However, that tends to be my profession, so that's what I specialize in and that's what I do. So I'm performing a cleanse that will go on for 4 weeks, making sure that I'm just removing yeast, mold, fungus, candida, parasites, anything that could be really inhibiting my body operating at peak performance. Because as long as I've got other things going on, it's gonna create a little bit more work for myself. So that's what I'm doing for my body, but I'm also focusing on my environment. So that's like my stuff, like the home that I lived in. And so I've already completed 1 week. I've gone 1 week into the cleanse for my body, and now I've done 1 week on the environment, which is, like I said, my home, my car, the places that I visit, and things of that nature. So I spent a goal of spending 1 hour a day cleaning something. And while I'm cleaning something in my environment, I'm also listening to something that is cleaning my mind. So it's something that is positive, something that is uplifting, something that is elevating my thought processes, my emotional state, and things like that. So the first things that I did is I wanted to create space in my closet. So I cleaned out my closet. I had 1 bag, black trash bag of trash, like paper trash, because I write. I've been writing since I was 7 years old, so that's just part of what I do. And I found a bunch of notes and things that were no longer relevant. So I cleared out all of those writings and research papers and all that stuff that I'm no longer using. And then I also went through all of my clothing and asked myself these questions. First and foremost, I made the goal that my drawers would only be filled 50%, and that the clothing that I owned was in good condition, and I didn't have anything that was duplicates or anything like that. So I just got rid of 1 trash bag of clothing. And I will be very transparent. I don't own a lot of things. I tend not to be a big consumer. I don't have a bunch of clothing in my closet with tags on them of clothes that I never wear. I really am more of a fan of getting a certain set of clothing that is very versatile, that can take you through many different environments as you switch them up. And I live in Southern California, and I dress pretty casual, and the weather's pretty light, so it's pretty easy to not have too many clothes. So that's what I did. Also, I cleaned out my nightstands, my desk. One day I spent time washing and taking care of my daughter's car. Another day I detailed a surfboard and just cleaned it all up and re-waxed it and put it back in better condition than how I found it. And that's kind of the mindset that I'm having when it comes to my environment, is how can I keep the environments that I am in clean? And I know that this will expand further out. So other things that I am doing is I'm focusing on the way that I relate. Not only the way that I relate with myself, but the way that I relate with others. And how that works is my mind. What are the thoughts that are going into my mind? I just shared with you that while I'm cleaning something, I'm listening to something positive and uplifting that's affirming of the direction that I want to go in, which is to elevate my life a notch and see what I'm capable of doing when I actually apply myself. The other components is my emotional state. So how is my vibration? Am I operating from a state of love and gratitude and appreciation, or am I coming from a place of fear, doubt, worry? And I will say that I can do both quite well. And I really just want to maximize the time that I spend in love and in certainty, and less time in fear, doubt, worry, and all of those other components. And listen, it's actually not about avoiding any fear. It's about understanding how to recontextualize the messages of negative energy. So, okay, I feel a negative vibe. I'm not going to wallow in it. I'm going to identify where it's coming from, and I'm going to take positive action, get clarity on what's the source, and take some positive action, because every negative emotion and negative thought is actually an opportunity to guide you in a clearer path. And so that's something that I'm focusing on and really honing in on. And that reflects in the way that I communicate with myself, the thoughts that I'm thinking, and that spills over onto every other person that I interact with. The other component that I'm putting in here is my communication. And what I mean by that is I want to focus on very important elements of communication. And the first part I thought I would do is a very simple acronym called THINK. And this is like think before you speak. And all it represents is, before you speak, ask yourself these 5 questions. 1, is it true? Is what you're going to be saying true? And the second one is helpful. Is what I'm going to share helpful? The third one is, so THI, is this inspiring? N is this necessary? And the last thing, K, is kind. So is it true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind? And to be very transparent, there are a lot of things that I could clean up with my communication. And I'm inspired by that. But for sure, there's a lot of I can be very teachy-preachy, I can be very rambly, and I want to clean that up. I want to be a more effective and powerful communicator. So it's time that I maybe zip the lip a little bit. I even considered doing a 9-10 day Vipassana, where that's a silence meditation. And I may do it at some point, but for right now, I'm following the THINK acronym. The other things that I'm focusing on is, and that all kind of goes in with the way that I relate. Obviously, my thoughts, my feelings, my communication, and then my actions, okay, and my activities. So I'm actually keeping a daily log and seeing, are my actions in alignment with the direction that I want to go in my life? Are these habits or activities or actions actually taking me up a notch and supportive, or are they destructive and holding me back? So I'm actually keeping a log on a daily basis, just looking at what it is that I'm doing, finding where there's times that I'm not utilizing my energy in the best way possible, or finding that I'm doing so many things already that are super supportive and super nurturing of the well-being of myself that benefits everybody around me. And so that's kind of the approach that I'm taking for cleansing on the emotional, mental, and it is physical too, and the way that I'm relating with others. I would love to say that I've always been loving and supportive and optimistic, and I know that I definitely haven't. So with that said, I want to take a higher approach in how I show up for others. And there's this really beautiful statement that I have heard from Neale Donald Walsch, and he says, be the source of that which you want for everyone that you come into contact. So if I want love, support, and fun, or whatever it is that I want from somebody else, I'm going to ask myself, who am I providing that for? And so that's part of my 30-day cleanse challenge. And then it's coming to my money, how it's coming in and how it's going out, and just really being mindful and saying, okay, you know, maybe we could put a pause on some of these things and see, is my spending in alignment with what it is that my priorities are? And I will say I'm right there. I don't feel that that's much of a challenge in the sense that I know that what I'm spending my money on, for the most part, is really in alignment with my values. But with that said, there's always an opportunity to take your financial life to another level, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And the same thing with the way that I contribute, the way that I offer services and pay it forward, the knowledge that I know, and create value for the people that need my services in health and well-being. So with that said, thank you so much for watching this video. This is the beginning of so much more to come. That is the challenge that I am giving myself, the challenge of a 30-day cleanse. I would love to inspire you to join me on this. Like I said before, if you do anything, please reach out and share it with me. And also, I did mention that I am doing my own 30-day cleanse, my own online program. And actually, I have a little testing profile that I do that just basically validates if I need a cleanse or not. And it's like going through things like, do I like toxicity? What's my toxicity score? What's my navel to spine score? What's my body fat? What's my pH of, you know, my body? Because disease cannot grow in alkaline blood or oxygen-rich blood. So I'm checking on all those things. And it's basically just a scan. So if you're curious and want to check that out, that's actually on the blog. So you can go and see that. I think I posted it on other social media forums as well. And it's really cool because what happens is you can see the ranking from poor to fair to good to excellent. And it's just taking things up to the next level, the next standard. And I will say, you know, 2 of them I got excellent. The rest of them I got good. I know that that's fantastic. But listen, a little tune-up once a year is an excellent thing. So I will be sharing more with you next week as to what's happening with my journey on this 30-day cleanse. Please feel free to share with me what you're doing for your own cleanse, and I will be checking in with you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.